Okay, hey guys, and welcome to looking at continuing where we were from yesterday when we're looking at the extra materials for Unit 3. So we know that this week we've looked at the present simple. And the present simple is when we talk about facts or situation in this present moment, now, right now. And what we do, we have the subject. So I know I've been saying it all week, but we have the subject. So it could be I, you, he, she, it, we, they, and then you have the verb. And the verb is just in the present. So whichever action, to speak, to sing, to listen, to write. So it's saying something like, I read every day before bed. I listen to music all the time. I enjoy doing outdoor activities. I like coffee. So that's what the present simple is. And we also looked at ways of making the negative. So we say don't for I, we, they, and then we say doesn't for he, she, it, and whatever the action is. So for example, I don't like tea. And then we looked at making questions. So start with the verb. Either you've got is, and we looked at directions and places. So, is there a library? Is there a car park around here? Is there a cafe? And then we also said we start the question with the W. So where is the library? Where is the art gallery? Or it could be a question with do or does. Do you like coffee? Do you drive to work? So that's what we've been looking at this week. And we're looking at extra materials for the unit. So yesterday we ended here. So we're looking at he, she, it. And we have a conversation. So we can see there's a sushi place. And there looks like there's a dad and a daughter. So let's have dad is Fernando, a young dad, and daughter could be Letizia. Mum. So remember the U is a. Mum. Mum. Yeah, Chinese. Yeah, yeah. Mum. Yeah, mum. Great. So we can see they've highlighted, maybe you don't have yours highlighted, but the ES for he, she, it. Because mum, she likes sushi. Hi, Anderson. And with the question, does, not do. Does mum, does she, or does, Nicholas, does he? So does is for he or she. And in the response, same. No, she doesn't. No, he doesn't. Okay, another conversation. The place is the cinema. And we've got the boy and the girl. It looks like they are on a date night. So boy, Odilon, girl. Come on. You're like, I've already did this long time ago. Now I'm married. Girl, girl, Mariana. Horror.
Is you need is a great it finishes at
It finishes. Okay, so here in this conversation, it's the it, because he or she is for a person, but it is for something that's not living. It, the book, the object, it, the coffee. Can you pass me it? It, the film, was the film good? Was it good? So that's when we talk about it. It's not a living thing, it's an object. And that's why we need to put an S, the same as he, she. So starts and doesn't, does, the film, does it. So it has the same rules for he and she. And we looked at pronunciation, if you remember. So the one that sounds like a soft S, like a snake, or the S that sounds like a buzzing zzz, zzz. So this was does, the IZ, the is the, and this was a soft start, snake, starts, and finishes when it has the SH ending, is. So let's look back quickly at some pronunciation rules. We have them in Unit 3 grammar from earlier in the week. This is what this is the rules. We talked about the pronunciation here. If you remember, snake and the B. So the words that end in CH or SH makes a is sound. So finishes, because it starts with it, finishes with the SH. So is, finishes. But starts is just this one because it ends in a consonant. So works, meets, starts, speaks, snake. And the ES, lives, goes, that's the B, goes. Okay, so good. So pronunciation, there's 3 sounds. The is, the snake, and the Z. I don't have an image for the is. I don't know what image I can put, but yeah, I might have to find an image for that one. So the main idea is that there's 3 sounds of the plural S. And the is, I'm just looking for a nice image we could put. Maybe I don't have an image today, but yeah. Okay, so we just have to remember there is 3. I'll just use this image. So there's our 3 pronunciations of the plural S. Is, the snake, and the buzzing bee. So the is, when the verb, the action ends in a CH or an SH. The snake, when it ends in a consonant. So remember, consonant is not A, E, I, O, U. It's all the other letters. T, D, K. Yeah. And the buzzing, when it ends in an E, lives, goes. So they're your three sounds. Okay, good. So we have this conversation. This is the rules. I just talked about it. He, she, it. Let's look at some exercises. So we have to pick the correct word. Maybe Joanna, you can read all of it. Yeah. Yeah, so very interesting. We've got two subjects here, I and then she, my wife. So my wife, she works. She works. Good. And I work in a hospital. I start. And we looked at times. If you remember, 9 o'clock. Let's look at another time. We have 10:30. So that's 10:30. And 12:30, 12:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, that's 5:30. And yes, so remember we looked at times, and this is just showing us the difference between when the subject is I or when it's she. So that should be an easy exercise. Look at the timetable now. For Sophie, Emma, Larry, and Dan. What time do they start? What time is their break? And what time do they finish? So number one, Sophie and Emma are chefs. They work in a restaurant. Sophie, hey, Conrado. Sophie, we need an action. Starts, because she starts. So there needs to be she starts. She starts. Yep. So we have she starts at 10 o'clock, and Emma, the same, starts. And Emma starts at 9:30. They something a break. What action do we use to talk about a break? They have a break. They have a break. So number 3, they have a break at 3 o'clock. Sophie finishes, because she finishes work at 4:30 or 4:30, and Emma finishes at 4 o'clock. Okay, simple. So he, she, we needed to put the S's or ES's to make it in the present simple. And have a break. They have a break because it's plural. If it was just one person, she has a break, but they have a break. Okay, look at the timetable and write a description for Larry and Dan. Larry. Ojalon, tell me about Larry. Yeah, so similar. Tell me what time he starts, what time he has a break, what time he finishes. Larry. Yeah.
and how far.
Yeah.
Um, and we have a break at half past 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Or to half past 11 p.m.
Yeah, good. With your they call it the 24-hour clock or the military time. So yes, we have Larry starts at 4:30 and has a break at 7:30 and finishes at 11:30 or half past 11. So we can write that as a full complete sentence. So Larry, so well done. Larry starts at 4:30 or half past 4 and has a break. Because remember, it's only singular, one person. So he has a break at 7:30 and finishes at 11:30 or half past 11. Okay, let's match the answers to the question. So, do you like Tom Cruise? So he's an American actor. Do you like Tom Cruise? So so we need to say yes or no first. It's done it for us. Yes, I do. He's great. Number 2, Fernando. Yes, I do. Does your mom like pasta? Yes, she does. She loves Italian food. A. Is that right? So 2A. Maybe on a different one. And I said yes. And then I said, no, that doesn't sound right. So we're on question 4. And they did the first one for us, 1C. The second one is 2A. 3, Conrado. Yeah. So do you like rock music? Yes, I do. Number E, but I prefer jazz music. So 3E. 4, Anderson.
No, he doesn't. He likes one. No,
No, he doesn't. Yeah, so be careful not to say she.
doesn't.
Yeah. So does your boyfriend like hip hop? No, he doesn't. He likes, so in the present simple right now, a fact, he likes classical music. Yeah. And the last one, Letizia. What time does the lesson finish? At 9 o'clock. Yep. At 9 o'clock. Good. So we talked about time at 9 o'clock. Complete the conversation. Do, does, don't, negative, doesn't, negative, like, likes. So A and B, A, Joanna, B, Fernando, for all of them. Do you like pasta? No, I don't. No, he doesn't. Yep. Yeah. So no, he doesn't, but he likes Japanese food. Yeah. And a question. So parents, plural, does, do. Yeah, that's what it should be. Maybe it's yeah, this is a mistake. It's meant to be, do your parents like? So this is a mistake in the number 3. Should say, do your parents like sushi? So this is the one that we have to fill in, the do, and do your parents like? So there's a mistake in number 3A. And the response, Fernando, my mum. Yes, so we have a positive in the beginning. My mum likes it, an affirmative statement. Affirmative just means the subject and verb. She likes it, but we have a negative. My father doesn't. So you don't need to repeat doesn't like the pasta. You can stop at doesn't. So B was my mother likes it, but my father doesn't. You can stop at doesn't. You don't need to say, but my father doesn't like sushi. Okay, good. Let's places of work. So we looked at places in general, like the library and the classroom and the cafe, but then of work as well. So a boat, you'll have a fisherman. A classroom, you'll have a teacher that works there, a hospital, a doctor. An office, um, uh, you'll have admin people. A plane, you'll have a pilot. You'll have a shop. You have a shop assistant. So number 1, I'm a doctor. I work in a hospital. So remember these little words, you must stretch them out. I work in a hospital. So I must be very clear with my pronunciation, or it sounds like I work hospital. So I work in a hospital. We're sales assistants. We work in we're sales assistant. Did I skip a page? Yeah. So we're sales assistants. We work in a shop. A shop. Yeah. A shop. I'm a teacher. I work in a classroom. Yeah. Classroom. He's an accountant. He works in an office. We know it's an because the noun starts with an A, E, I, O, U. An office. But if it starts with a consonant, like C or S, then it's just A. But because it's an O, an. They're waiters. They work in yeah, restaurant, a boat, I guess. A boat, a shop. They're waiters. Yeah. Okay. They work in a boat. Places in the city. You see a play or musical in a theater. Theater. Two, Joanna. Yeah, you relax outside in a park. So number two, park. Mariana, three. Yeah. An aquarium. Four, Anderson. Yeah, you hope not in a car park. And five, Fernando. Um, Visitors center. Yeah. A business district is for lots of businesses, but you get tourist information in a visitors center. Yeah, so visitors center. Okay, telling the time. Let's go back to time. So 3 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock. It's three. If you want, you can stop at saying it's three. So what time is it? It's three. Or it's 3 o'clock, the same. Number two, Conrado. It's quarter. Quarter. Yeah. It's quarter. Yeah, quarter. Welcome to the Australian accent. Yes, quarter. If you want the American accent, then the ER is pronounced more quarter. The Australian, huh? Quarter. Quarter. So always say the words before the ER. So quarter, and then the ER becomes a. Quarter, a. It's 2:15. Now you try it. Yeah. Three, Mariana. Yeah, it's 25 to 10. So we can write it like 25 to 10 would be, yeah, 9:35. It's 25 to 10. 25 to, because we're going to 10. 9:35. It's 25 to 10. Four, Letizia. Yeah, it's 4 minutes to 12. and 5. So minutes is here. It's 4 minutes to 12. And number 5, back to Joanna, it's half. Yep, half past. It's 6:30. Very good. Easy to tell the time now. Let's go back to the grammar, the present simple for I, you, we, and they. So there's no S because it's not he, she, it. So I live in the city center. That's just fact, present information. 2, we have to make it a negative. So remember in the negative, we say don't or do not, or sorry, don't or doesn't. So we don't. Doesn't is only he, she, it. So we don't. We don't eat. Number 3, they have. Yeah, they have. They have a car. You don't speak. We meet friends in a park after work. Yep, information about the present moment. 6, they, negative. They don't like shopping on the weekend. So remember we say on the weekend in Australia. You read. You read a newspaper every morning at breakfast time. I, negative, don't have a lot of free time. Now, for he, she, it, we use doesn't. Or we put the S to the action if it's the affirmative. So travel, travels, finish, finishes, but it's the pronunciation. So it's easy to know we have to put the S, but it's the pronunciation. Finishes, teach, teaches, go, goes, live, lives, love, loves, have, has, study, studies. So if any of the action, the verb end in Y, you add IES. Yeah, good. Questions. Remember, start with the W, start with the do or the does or the how. We don't have a how, but always start your question with these. In the present simple, there is other, the continuous is different, the present perfect is different, the can is a different, the would. We're just talking about the present simple questions. So these are the ones you have to remember. So where do they come from? Australia. They did the first one for us. Do you like crowded restaurants? No, we don't. Does she work in an office? No, she doesn't. A. Do they have a car? Oh, do they? I thought because I saw you online and now I was surprised. Like, um, do they have a car? Yes, they do. When does he start work? At 6 o'clock. So 4E, 5B, And the last one, what do you do? Remember, that's about your job or your occupation. What do you do for a job, for a living? I'm a student. Good. So very simple present, simple present. Let's go here. We've got to read this description. Of New York City, a city in the USA. You have to replace the brackets with an adjective. So remember what an adjective is? It tells us about the noun. Only for the first 7, find your own adjective. And then for 8 to 12, use the ones in the box. So let's read one sentence each, starting with Letizia. So Central Park in New York is a beautiful area of green space. Yeah, good, beautiful. Yeah. If many people are in it, it's crowded or it's a busy, maybe crowded. But it could, I mean, it's an amazing place, but they want us to show that many people like it. Sorry, many people like it, so it's a popular. It's a popular. And it's a relaxing place because good for tired and busy people. Relaxing. That's an adjective, relaxing. Yeah, on the weekend. Okay, let's write some of the words down. So we had the first one was beautiful, popular, and relaxing. Good. The second paragraph-ish, Mariana. Yeah. Did you say and polluted? Yep. And polluted with lots of people, sorry, with hundreds of yellow taxi cars and buses. Yeah. Crowded, busy. Yeah. You could say busy or crowded with lots. Yeah, don't forget the S, not lot of, with lots of. But they don't like the pollution, but they don't like the what, sorry? The dirty? Yeah, the dirty. Yep. Okay, in 2009, Joanna. Idea. Yeah, idea. For the weekend, maybe? Yeah. So only on the weekend, he makes it a no car zone. So no cars can enter this area. No, number 11, people sit in the sun, walk and talk. Yeah. So we have sit, walk, and then dancing. Yeah. Yeah. Pollution. Now the mayor wants to make zones that have no cars all the time. He wants more clean air. Okay, pronunciation. So I noticed a lot of the time you were saying it's when it only said it. You said it's also. It's only it. So you got to be careful. It also, not it's also. Um, okay, how about I read it and then I'll give you 2 minutes to do the questions. You got to make, you got to look at the answers and then make questions. So let's read it just for pronunciation. You can follow me. But okay, so I'll make it as big as possible. So let's look, remembering our S's. And also I noticed sometimes you were, you said here, Joanna, you said now the area, it's beach. So now the area is a, finished? Okay, good. Is a, so very important. Okay, we'll do the listening after. Yeah, what time you have to go? On Monday? Okay, yeah, yeah, come Monday. Yeah, that's okay. See you. Oh, Tuesday. Tuesday. Don't worry. I won't mark the listening. Yeah, don't worry. So not Tuesday, but don't come Monday. Come Tuesday. It's public holiday. Thank you. Who said Tuesday? Mariana? Yes, thank you. Oh my God, I have to remember. It's a public holiday. Okay, let's read it together. So Central Park in New York is a beautiful area of green space in the middle of the city. See you next week. It's a popular place with New Yorkers. They go there at lunch times, and it's a relaxing place to spend a few hours at the weekend. Sorry, on the weekend. Yeah, we say on in Australia. English people say at. So I'm going to say on because we don't say at in Australia. But 8 million people, yeah, up, not a U, up. Make sure you write an A on top of it. But up to, but, but 8 million people live in New York City. And the streets
the streets
are always
are always
noisy
always
and polluted, with hundreds of yellow taxis, cars, and buses.
us.
Every morning, the pavements
They
are also
are also
crowded
crowded
with lots
with lots
of people
of people
on their way
on their way
to work.
to work.
People enjoy the park,
People are,
but
but
they don't like the
are
dirty streets in the center of the city. In 2009, the mayor of New York has a good idea. He makes Times Square a no-car zone for the weekend. For 2 days in August, he closes Broadway and puts chairs in the street. Now, the area is a beach. Good, becoming Australian. Now, the area is a beach. People can sit in the sun, walk and talk with friends, or do activities such as dancing and yoga classes. People love being good. Yes, but together. So being good. Yeah, so people love being in Times Square with no cars. It also helps with the pollution problem and the numbers of accidents go down. Now I can hear my voice when you repeat. Now the mayor, I think is the only one that's engaged. We Australians, we get lazy. We keep doing water, mayor. So we get we have a bit of a sound like that. So now the mayor wants zones that have no cars all the time. Now, the reason why I read it like that is because it's in capital letters. So it means I have to push. That's why they did it in capital letters. They want us to push that word. It's all the time. That's the most important word in the whole sentence. He wants more clean air in New York City. Yes, perfect. Let's keep continuing. We won't do this part because let's keep doing exercises together. So I'm in revision, this page. Revision. Describing cities. So we've got adjectives because adjectives tell us what the noun looks like. You remember noun is a book, a car, a pen. It's an object. That's what a noun is. But we want to talk about what does that object look like? What does that object feels like? So the parks in London are crowded and quiet. We want correct the word in the bold. So the parks in London are beautiful and quiet. What about number 2, Solange? Yeah.
Other teacher has or other keys.
Ah, yes, it's in the other room.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring it. She's not.
But John, no.
Yeah. So, no, you want me to give you his downstairs? Yeah? Yeah, I forgot to get it. It's in the other room. But yeah, next time I bring it here. So we have to change the adjectives. So the first one, beautiful and quiet. The second one, some parts of Turkey are always expensive with hundreds of people. What's another word we could put there? Some parts of Turkey are always crowded. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, always crowded. Yeah, are always crowded. Yeah, it's another word for yeah, are always crowded. Because the sentence doesn't make sense. Some parts of Turkey are always expensive with hundreds of people. That doesn't make sense. So it must be crowded. The theaters in this city are very beautiful. Expensive, because I'm talking about it's expensive. My ticket cost me, let's pretend that says a dollar sign to practice our dollar, $120. So expensive. This street is really modern because there are lots of great shops and cafes. Busy? Yeah, busy. Crowded, popular. Yeah, you could go with popular. Yeah, crowded. The center of the city is really popular because of all the cars and traffics. Busy? Yeah, busy. Thank you. It's really busy. Many of the buildings in the business districts are very tall and modern. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Earlier this week, we looked at ordinal numbers. So remember when we had these numbers, they're different to just saying counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is ordinal numbers. So Friday is the 5th day of the week. True. True. Where is it different in the world? I think starting Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. So in Australia, yeah, the 5th day of the week. Tuesday is so if Monday was the 1st, the 2nd. D is the 4th letter of the alphabet. This is the 3rd unit in the book. Barack Obama, the 1st African American president of the USA. October is the 11th month. We live in the 21st. October is the 10th. Sorry, yes, because November is 11th, 10th. And we live in the 21st century. So remember these, we had it in our grammar unit. Where did we do it? Here. So you remember this earlier? So when we get to 20, it's all TH from 4th to 20. But here, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So cardinal numbers when comparing. Telling the time. Let's do telling the time again. So we have 4:15 or quarter past 4. 9:35 or 25 to 10. 7:56 or to 8. 11:30 or 11:30. And 5:25 or 25 past 5. Good time. Let's go back to a bit of grammar. I come from Tokyo and you come from New York. To Letizia. Sorry, they live in the city and the countryside. Yeah. Yes, no, that's okay. So yeah, we live in the countryside. Yeah. Number 3, Joanna. And we don't work in a restaurant. So remember, we can't just say the place, restaurant. We have to say in a restaurant, in an office. Same as the countryside, in the countryside, by the beach. We finish work early, but you finish work late. Yeah, so I got my subject, my verb. You finish. And I don't eat in restaurants, and they don't eat in cafes. Okay, let's change them from an affirmative to a negative. So affirmative is she has 3 children. The negative is she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't have 3 children. He, because it's he, she, it, so he works. We can't just say he works restaurant. He works in a restaurant. And the negative, he doesn't. So I'm just going to put the doesn't here instead of writing it out again. He doesn't work. But we don't put Actually, I won't do that because that will get confusing. Because then we don't put the S with doesn't. He doesn't work. There's no he doesn't works. It's just he doesn't work in a restaurant. It, so the same rule as he, she, it doesn't stop here. Sorry, and the affirmative, it, that was the negative, it stops here. So maybe you're talking about the bus. So it stops here, the bus. But the negative, it doesn't stop here. She finishes work late, and the negative, she doesn't finish work late. He, affirmative, studies languages, and the negative, he doesn't study. There's no S to the action. So be careful when we have he, she, it, we put an S to the action, but when the doesn't, it's just doesn't verb, even though it's the same subject, he. So he doesn't study languages. Okay, let's quickly finish this before the test. So does she have an office? No, she doesn't. She works on a plane. What is a question for number 2? So the subject is you. So we know it's not he, she, it. So straight away, do you, verb, have a car? No, I don't. I go everywhere by bike. Question on, is it a question? No, yeah, it's a question. So how can I make a question? How did you start the question? Where are they from? Where are they from? Yeah. To practice the present simple, do they come? Yeah, because there's no yes or no, so I can't say do. So it must be a W. Where? Yep. Where are they from? Canada. A. And make sure you add a question mark. It is a question. Yeah, so we must have do because I can see the answer says no. And remember, do and does questions always say yes or no first. So do you prefer crowded places, crowded restaurants? Why? Do you like crowded restaurants? No. Yeah, you could still say like. Yeah. Because no, I don't like them. I prefer quiet. Yes. These two always go together. Do you prefer coffee? No, I like tea, thanks. Or you'd say like first. Do you like coffee? No, I prefer tea. So yeah. So more better to start with the like. Do you like? And then you can respond, no, I prefer. So do you like crowded restaurants? Because we're asking about many, plural. Do you like crowded restaurants? And what's a question where the answer is at 6 o'clock in the morning? Yeah. What time do you, does, because it's he, What time does starts work? Yeah. What time does he starts work? What time does he work? At 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, the same. What time does he start work? I'll just put that on the new line. So what time does he work? Or what time does he start? Does he start work? Yeah. I mean, it's unnecessary. You could just say, what time does he work? What time does he start work? The same. So maybe it's two verbs. You should have, maybe one is better. Sorry? He go to work. Yeah, you could ask that as well. What time does he go to work? Yeah, that's a present simple question because I can see the action, present simple. Yeah, what time? Yeah. And the last one, it just says you, but it looks like we're asking about someone's job. So, what do you do? I'm a doctor. Okay, good. So let's finish there. So that was all unit 3. So we looked at just some of the extra materials, present simple questions and negatives and time and places. That was unit 3. So let's have a break, and we'll continue with next week for unit 4.